friends, welcome to episode 162 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, and we're actually joined by Miss Tootie, my dog. She's sitting out in the front yard surveying, so she's keeping everybody safe. But coming to you from my home in Central Florida. Today is Sunday, February 5th, and let's just get into it. We will start out with some admin bits. I've got a bunch of bright spots from the last episode, but first I want to say thank you so much for all of the condolence comments and the kind words that you all shared. Last episode was the first podcast episode after my oldest dog Kiva passed away, and it was really nice to read all of your comforting comments. They really did bring a smile to my face and warmed my little heart. So thank you all for being here. You know, I always say at the end of my episodes, thank you for being a part of my universe. And I really appreciate it because I'm not surrounded by a lot of people. I mean, I do have, you know, a good support system, but it's extra nice to be able to come on here or go on Instagram and have, you know, people that care about what's going on in my life, right? So thank you all so much for being a part of my universe. Good girl. I had to get Tootie because I see a family riding by on their bikes, and if they ride anywhere near our front yard, she's gonna have a fit. So here is Miss Tootie. Tootie, you wanna say hi? Look, you stink. You was working hard on that stink, weren't you? I saw you rolling around in the dirt. A little dirt fairy. Yeah. It's okay. And I won't talk about your stinkiness because you're proud of it. We're going to do some bright spots. There's quite a few bright spots from last episode, and let's get started reading them. So, Kelly's bright spot is that they started a new job on the 12th of this month. So that was still in January when that comment happened. So Kelly started a new job on the 12th of January. And so she said, I treated myself to a Remus Lupin Funko Pop. He's her comfort character. And a Hufflepuff mug. And then in parentheses, it says, I'm actually a Ravenclaw, but I have Hufflepuff tendencies. So I like to think of myself as a Ravenpuff. So that's really nice. Congrats on the new job. Let's see. Alicia said, on January 12th, I found out I'd have an incredible bright spot to share. That day we learned the results from my husband's very serious medical test, one we've been dreading for more than a month. Despite the December doctor's terrifying opinion, David does not, in fact, have cancer. The world is back on its axis. That's really great. Congratulations on a super awesome bright spot. Let's see. Rosemond, hey. My bright spot is changing our spare room from spare bedroom to craft room. It was such a mess before, and now all my yarn and art journaling supplies have a place. It feels like a huge weight off. As well as making me smile. And I even put, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you wiggling? She's not even sitting. She's like sitting against my chest. Like, no, stay here for bright spots. Then you can go. We only have a couple more. She's like, Mom, I don't wanna. I'm ready to leave. I need to go watch the streets to keep us safe from invaders. and keeping us safe from invaders. Yes. Anyway, and I even have more of my art in frames and hung them on the wall. I really want my own craft room, so whenever anyone gets to set up one, I'm always super jealous but super excited to one day be that person. So Roz, congratulations on having a new maker space. Let's see. Roxanne has 2 bright spots, and it says, I'm very thankful to know and love all 4 of my grandparents, even having lost one. They taught me so much about life and about family bonds. And then this weekend, my mom turned 50, and I took her out to a hotel and shopping / dinner weekend. It was amazing. That sounds really awesome. And we have Amethyst 19 has 2 bright spots. Bright spot number 1, my hubby just finished his first knitting project, a hat with a somewhat complicated cable pattern he picked out of a cable book. He's now casting on a second hat, picked a simple 1x1 ribbed one with an actual pattern this time. He's doing his own cast on. He heard you mention the Pisces Makealong and said, "What's that? I'm a Pisces." He's now very glad to be working with blue yarn. The last hat was off and on for over a year. Bright spot number 2. I commented on the video of your mom about getting hats for all the students, that we should knit hats for her. I'm very glad to say that after over a year of not knitting until very recently, I am now on hat number 7 for your mom, winging each one, different colors, textures, patterns, only a few weeks since I started. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. I don't think I told her about the comment that you made on that video. It was one of the Vlogmas videos where my mom was talking about how her school gathers like hats and gloves and scarves, socks, all these things for their students to give them at Christmas. And then they also work with a company that provides pajamas for each student at her school for Christmas as well. And Mimi had made that comment saying that it would be really cool to knit hats for the students. And as she said, she's 7 hats in. So I guess if you want to do that, my P.O. box address is in the description bar of the video. So if you want to make something to donate to my mom's school, you can mail it to that P.O. box, and I will send them all to her as a surprise. She really loves being able to give things to her students, and I think that kindness would be really cool. So thank you so much, Mimi, for starting that. That's really, really awesome. Team Explains bright spot is one of her nieces taught her older sister to crochet. So we have a new yarnie in the family. Welcome to your niece. And is that our last bright spot from last episode? Oh no, we have one more, and this is a bright spot from Shannon. A bright spot to share to bring joy and sunshine is I'm learning to be a plant mom and have drastically increased my house plants, and am finding so much joy in learning to take care of them. Welcome to the House Plant Mama team. I'll talk about it later, but a few of my plants are giving me a whole lot of joy recently. So we'll talk about that further into the episode. So, the other 2 admin bits, I just wanted to mention in one of those bright spots, it commented about the Pisces season Makealong. And the Pisces season Makealong is a all craft inclusive make-along that celebrates Pisces season, obviously. This year, Pisces season starts on February 18th and goes to March 19th. No, February 18th to March 20th. And the rules are really loose for the Pisces season make-along. You can either make something that is Pisces, like zodiac related, like a pattern or a piece of artwork that is Pisces or Pisces zodiac sign related. You can make something that is sea, ocean life themed, or you can use Pisces colors, and those are your blues and your greens, your watery underwater colors. So I host the Pisces season make-along on Instagram, just like I did the Mr. Grinch Mal. So you can use the hashtag Pisces season MAL 2023, and that is where you can share your pieces. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do like prizes, but really these make-alongs just bring me so much joy to see people participating in like the same idea of things. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do prizes. If I can, hooray. If not, I hope you will still participate for the joy of participating. That's the Pisces season make-along. It's coming, and I'm very happy. And the whole reason that I do the Pisces season make-along is that your girl is a Pisces. My birthday is February 24th, and every time I read anything about characteristics of Pisces, like descriptions of the Pisces sign, the temperaments and stuff like that, it is so me, it's redonkulous. But yeah, so I hope that you will join in the Pisces season make-along and just share in the ocean colored delightfulness. The last admin bit is I did want to tell you all about the Out of the Darkness Suicide Awareness Walk. It actually happened yesterday, February 4th. This is my 5th year participating in the walk and raising money for suicide awareness and prevention. The fundraiser goes through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I am super excited to be able to participate with this every year. This year we registered as an official team. Every other year it has just been me and my friend Tiffany registering as like people who are joining the walk. But this year we had a team, and the team was me, Tiffany, and my husband Lamar. We made shirts. We was official. And it was really nice. The fundraising does continue, I think, through the end of February. And our team goal is to raise $1,000 for suicide awareness and prevention. I think currently we're at $715, which is amazing. There is a link in the down bar to our donation page. If you would like to donate toward helping us reach our goal of $1,000 for suicide awareness and prevention. One of the things that I really like about how this donation page works is when you click to donate, it gives you a breakdown of what specifically the foundation can do with certain amounts of money. And they range from things like training counselors to deal with survivors of suicide attempts. There are programs that they take to high schools to talk about suicide awareness and things like that. And I think that's really important, especially in these days when it feels like all the time we're hearing about death, and all the time we're hearing about, struggles that people are going through, and then having personal struggles. You know, one of the things that I think about a lot when it comes to mental health, and the thing that I have to remind myself a lot, is that it feels very isolating. It feels like you are in the boat alone in the middle of the ocean, right? That is the lie that depression and anxiety and all of these mental health issues, they tell you this lie that nobody else understands and nobody else is there and that you are alone. And that is the biggest lie. And one image that came to me one day was the idea or the picture of a bunch of people in a lifeboat, but everyone is facing out. So you don't know how many other people are in that boat with you. You just feel like like you are in this boat by yourself, looking out at this dark expanse of water, and where is the help going to come from, and who is going to be there for you, right? But the reality is that it's a bunch of us in that boat. And if we would look, you know, next to each other, like next to ourselves, you know, look outside of ourselves at the person next to us, there's the potential of being able to find comfort in that person, but also be comfort to that person, right? So that's also one of the feelings that is reaffirmed to me whenever I participate in the Out of the Darkness walk. It's literally a turning on of the light to the acknowledgement that you're not in your situation by yourself. You know, there is somebody else. There is another hand that you can hold, you know. And if, I always say, like, if you are not the person who is reaching out for a hand to hold, be the person who is holding out their hand. You know what I mean? Because, like, sometimes I feel like I'm having a great span of days, right? Sometimes I feel so good in that time. And I'm like, you know what? We're on an up. It's in those times when I realize that I'm on an up that I need to be especially attentive to the people that are around me. I need to pay attention to the energies of the people around me, because when I'm up, I have the strength and I have the space to be supportive to someone who may not be up. You know what I mean? And I hope the same thing for you all, you know? So, kind of got a little carried away there. But, yeah, the participating in the Out of the Darkness walk definitely is a reinvigorating activity for me, to remind myself that I have the ability to support those around me, and also remind myself that when I do not have the space and I do not have the energy and I do not have the ability to be that supportive person, I can acknowledge the fact that there are people around me who can be that support for me. So I definitely hope that if you are able to, you will click the link in the description to donate to our team. Our team is called Still Here. And I am glad that I'm still here. You know, I'm not going to stay on that long because I definitely felt the tears jump up in my face a little bit there, and it's too early in the podcast to be crying. So if you would like to donate, thank you so much in advance. I really hope that we can meet our goal, and that will actually give us a segue into finished objects. So my first finished object is actually our team shirt. So when we started our team, Tiffany was saying that she wanted to have shirts, and I love having t-shirts for things. Like, if we're a team, we could definitely have shirts. And Tiffany does a lot of Cricut crafting. She actually has a company called Talk About Crafty, and I'll put her Instagram there so that you can see the work that she has done. But she makes shirts and things, so she was gonna make the shirts. Then time got away from us. Both of us thought that the walk was still a week away, and it was not. So Tiffany found that she wasn't gonna have time to make the shirts. So I decided to take that as the kick in the butt to actually learn to use my silhouette cutting machine. So I think it was the year before last, so 2021, I think. One of my aunts gave me a silhouette because she had two or something like that. I guess having your own personal craft store in your house runs in my family. So she sent me a silhouette, and I tried to use it once, and then I was like, this is a little complicated, so I put it away. And so this past week was all right, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna learn how to do this, and we're gonna make these shirts. So this is the design for our team, still here, and I'll put a picture here of all of the finished shirts. But they came out really good. I am super proud of myself. I vaguely remembered how to use it from the first my first go round. This was my first time using iron-on heat transfer vinyl. Now I am way more comfortable in figuring out how to get the cutting machine to cut what I want and how to do the cut paths and all of that stuff. It was a lot, but I did it. I was talking to my mom about it, and I told her, I was like, Mommy, I have this illness that I believe I can do anything until I absolutely can't. And she was like, yeah, girl. Because she's the same way. I got it from her. It's probably genetic. No, so I spent, I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday night, Googling, watching videos on YouTube to figure out troubleshooting to get the cutting right on this thing. And I'm just incredibly proud of myself right now, friends. And of course, because I have a strong tendency to hyperfixate on things, I have gone and purchased an unnecessary amount of vinyl for this silhouette. And now I want to make all the things. And I have so many plans that I'm very excited about. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not saying anything out loud because I don't want to be held responsible for ideas that I throw out on the internet. So we're just gonna let those ideas stay in my brain. But here's my shirt, very proud of it. Yay me. I will show you, okay, so going along the same lines, or the same lines as my shirt, I made a kerchief. Is this the front? Yeah, this is the front. It looks like a bikini bottom. It's not. I made a kerchief to wear, like that. It is made out of, is it Impeccable from Michaels? I think it is. Loops and Threads Impeccable. I think this colorway is like mint stripe, but I wanted to have something, crocheted or, knit to go with my outfit, because why not? So I made this Friday night. The walk was Sabbath morning. But it looked really cute. It did its job. It is very thick, so I think what I'm gonna do, Since it is acrylic, I'm going to put it through the wash and the dryer so that it will kind of like soften up. At least that's what I find that acrylic does. You know, like Red Heart acrylic, or, you know, Loops and Threads, Big Twist from Joann's. If you run it through just like a regular wash and dry cycle, it tends to soften up and drape a lot better. So there's that. I bought the same stripes yarn in a purple because I was going to make one for Tiffany, but I didn't. I ran out of time. But I'm definitely going to make her one, so that will be a maker plan. So made that. You know, my finished objects, like my fibery finished objects, have, like, they look like they go together. Speaking of finished objects, the next fibery finished object we have are my On Top of Mount Crumpet socks. These are the socks that I started for the Mr. Grinch Makealong and started them in November. And I just finished them this morning. This yarn is Felici in the Beyond the Wall colorway, and I don't remember what this green yarn is, but it's perfectly Grinchy. And the idea for this sock, when I was looking at this colorway, it made me think of, like, you know, winter, the mountains, you know, beyond the walls. So it's like, oh, over there and the beyond. And so I was thinking, like, on top of Mount Crumpet, it's all dark and spooky but wintry, you know, and then the Grinch. So I had one ball of the Beyond the Wall colorway, and what I like doing, if I have one ball, like a 50-gram ball of sock yarn, I will do Afterthought Everything socks. This time, I don't know why I decided to, like, weigh out the yarn and knit 25 grams. And then one thing I did discover that I'm going to test out with my next pair of socks. I'm going to do another Afterthought heel pair of socks just to test this. This is the first sock. So when I do my Afterthought heels, I do 5 rows even to give some extra space over my instep. So I do 5 rows even, and then I start doing this decrease. And this is just a knit 1 SSK, knit all the way to the end, to the last 3 stitches, then knit 2 together, and then knit 1. That's how I do my decrease row. So you have a decrease row and then an even row, decrease even, and I go all the way down to 10 stitches. Now, because that is an even decrease, you know, it's simple. It's like pretty mindless. But what I noticed when I put this sock on, now I've always done my Afterthought heels like this, and even when I do short row wrap and turn heels, I always go down to 10 stitches. So I know that 10 stitches is the space at the, like, the point of my heel. Like, it's the right amount of stitches. But when I do this and I put this on, there's just a little bit of, like, space. Like, it's like this much space that doesn't, like, fit properly to my heel. So I was thinking about it, and I thought maybe I can just take out the even rows when I get towards the end. So that's what I did here. So I did, nope, that's the toe. That's what I did here. So I did my 5 rows, and then I did my even decreases down to 16 stitches, and then I did 3 decrease rows immediately following each other without those even rows in between. And so what that did was, it basically went like this. Like, you have your even increases, and then you had a quick decrease. And you can see the difference. This one is way more pointy than this one. So I think I'm going to make the adjustment to do my Afterthought heels like this from now on, instead of just doing the straight decrease. So it's really cool that I can still discover new ways of creating custom knitwear, you know, for myself. So, like, once you know how to make the fiber, not the fiber, how to make the fabric do what you want it to do, like how to shape the stitches in the way that you want to, you can really make pieces that are unique to your body, which I think is really awesome. I need to weave in at least these ends. Am I gonna do that now? Absolutely not. They're probably just gonna go straight into the sock box like this, or the sock basket like this, and I'm just gonna tuck the ends in when I wear them because I live on the wild side. All right, those are all of my fibery finished objects. I do have a painting finished object. So a couple weeks ago, I went to Target, and in their, what is it called? Bullseye Playground, like their dollar section, they had a whole bunch of like art supplies and project and things geared toward Black History Month, which I really appreciate Target for consistently having merchandise for Black History Month and Kwanzaa. Like it really makes me feel good to see that. So I got this like wood paint your own sign project from Target, and I used the only things I added to this kit was my paintbrush, because the paintbrush that came with this thing was this big, and that's entirely too small for my hands. So I used my own paintbrush, and then this is a gold paint pen. I use that for the dotting that you see here as well. And then in the brown, I included, or I added in some like copper paint that I had, because I wanted it to be metallic, but you can't even see that. It didn't work. But I was really impressed with the quality of the paint. Was really nice. It came with red, it was red, yellow, green, purple, and black. Yeah. So I used the red, black, and green straight from the containers, and then for the brown, I mixed the yellow and the purple. If you didn't know, some little color theory, if you mix complementary colors, they typically will turn brown. If you have them in the right portions. So I mixed the brown using the paint from the kit and added in a little bit of the bronze for like a metallic finish, which completely didn't work. But I was happy that I was able to get a really pretty brown without having to use a whole lot of supplies that I already had at home. So essentially, this is mostly just the kit. So it cost $3, and I really like it. So this sits up on my shelf behind my little workstation. And I kind of want to go back to Target and see if they have any other ones. Because like stuff like this, I really like little kits, because they're fun. Like if you have friends to get together and everybody can paint them, little things like that. I really like it. But yeah. That is everything for finished objects. So I'm gonna show you my works in progress. I realized that I have been talking for a long time and we have not gotten very far. This is gonna be a chunky episode. I hope you have snacks. Works in progress. I'm gonna put a picture of my Crochet Memories blanket here. I have definitely slowed down quite a lot with that project, but whenever I am working on it, it is definitely giving me a lot of joy. If you're looking for a very simple corner to corner crochet blanket to use up your scraps, leftovers, mini skeins, etc., that's definitely a good option. It's the Crochet Memories blanket by Hannah Siegmund. The next, okay, I'm going to show you, I have 3 other works in progress that I'm going to show you. So first we have this one, which I just started last night. So that's as far as we have gotten. This is the collar of the Olori Sweater Tee by, it's either LA Knits or La Knits. And this is going to be a short-sleeved sweater tee. I am using Lion Brand, yep, Lion Brand, it's not Hometown. Hometown? I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. The colorway is King's Canyon though. And I really, really like this like heathered look. But it is 100% acrylic. I got it from Joann's. And I think this sweater is going to end up taking maybe 3 balls of it. Yeah. So this project is going to be my entry for the Black Knitters Black History Month Makealong. And that Makealong, it runs throughout Black History Month, so all February. And to be a part, you will either need to make a pattern that is by a Black designer, which the Alluri Sweater Tee is. You can use yarn that was done by a Black dyer, or you can, or maybe it's and, you can use project bags by Black makers. So this project is going to be 1 entry. It might end up being 2 entries if I can find a project bag made by a different Black maker, because I feel like if I use the project bags that I made, that's cheating. I feel like that's cheating. So I know that I have project bags that were made by Kim the Crafty Nomad, but I think that the bag I have from her is just my Grinch bag. So I have to go look. One thing that I have also noticed, that since I make bags myself, I don't buy a lot of bags, because pretty much the bags that I have are the ones that like didn't, like something happened to them in production, like I accidentally cut a hole next to the zipper or something like that. So I have like my B grade bags. So I don't tend to buy a lot of bags, but I do have some. But I don't know if I want to put this in a Grinch bag. Anyway, so this is going to be the project that I use to be a part of that Makealong. And to make it even more on theme, I am using these little stitch markers that I made. And I have a gold one, and then I have red, black, and green, which are the colors of the Pan-African flag. It has a really wide neckline, and I think I'm really gonna like that that design, because I don't like the necklines to be close up on my throat, because then I start feeling like I'm being choked out by my clothes, and nobody really wants that, right? So we've got that baby on the go. And then my next 2 works in progress are Kiva related works in progress. So I'll show you this one first. It's living in this bag. And I got this bag out the Target dollar spot as well. And this is my Kiva blanket. So I had mentioned that I wanted to make a blanket using Kiva's colors, and I was going to use my Just Feel Better shawl pattern. So the idea was going to be to make 4 Just Feel Better shawls and have them seam together to make this blanket, and then do like a border around the edges. So this is a picture of the of kind of what the shawl will, or the blanket will look like, with 4 of the Just Feel Better shawl shapes together. That shawl is an asymmetric triangle, so I'm not going to get a perfect square or like a rectangle or anything like that. It is going to be a little bit, what's that shape? Parallelogram? It's going to be a little bit, but I don't care because it's doing exactly what I needed to do. So let me take these out. I'm going to show you the colors and then I'll show you the finished pieces. I'm using 6 colors. 4 of those colors are I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby, and then the 5th, the black, is just a black acrylic from my stash. So these are the colors. Ridiculous. Okay, so I've got the red for her collar. I have the cream for her, like her markings and her little spots were cream colored. We have the black for her iconic eyeliner. And then we have this dark brown for her eyes. And then we have these 2 shades of brown. So this like rich brown is baby Kiva. So when I first got her, she was this color. And then this is old lady Kiva. So you can see how her color faded over the years, but I love it. So this is the color scheme for my Kiva blanket. Okay. And I am 3/4 of the way through. So here's half. Oh, let me show you the pretty side. Here's half. I'm going to attach the yarn for the 4th shawl here and then work, here, and then work that way. And then I will seam them long edges together and then do a border. I was a little concerned that I was going to run out of yarn, but I'm absolutely not going to run out of yarn. That's not going to happen. I ended up also doing a whole lot of color management. Originally, the plan was going to be to just grab whatever color I felt like going next. But after I made the first one, that's kind of how I did the first one. I just grabbed whatever color I wanted. And then when I attached the second one, I thought, okay, I don't want any of the same colors to be together except for the red, the black, well, the red and the black stripe. So we've got a red stripe here, a black stripe here, and then another red stripe at the top. So all 4 blankets are going to have the red stripe, the black stripe, the red stripe in the same locations. And then the inside colors, so the Kiva colors, are the ones that are going to change. And no one quadrant will be the same as another. So I had to make it harder on myself. So after I made these 2, I made this chart where I wrote out all of the colors and the order that they were currently in, and then I organized which colors were going to go where for my second 2, or for the second half of the blanket. So now that all of that is done, I just have to follow the just follow the instructions that I wrote, and my stripe patterns will be visually random but organized. That's like my favorite kind of randomness. So I really like this. I'm so happy that I decided to do this. And it's just, it is bringing me a lot of joy. And I'm happy that I'm making this blanket, but another layer of it is because I'm doing my Just Feel Better shawl pattern. I specifically designed that pattern for me at a time where I was not okay. And so whenever I'm making that pattern, it feels like past Kalisha, rubbing my shoulders, like, you're okay, you're gonna be okay. And like, and past Kalisha saying, like, this is why we did this. This is why we made this pattern, because we knew that in the future you're gonna have some times where you're not feeling good or you're not feeling okay, and you just needed something to focus on and like lean into. And that's what the Just Feel Better shawl does for me. So having my Just Feel Better Kiva blanket, that is just, it's like a hug from my girl. So let's keep it moving before I get too emotional, because I have already had Kiva related tears happening today, and it's fine. Another Kiva project. I am on the foot of my second little Wolfie socks. So here's the first one. Let's get it flattened back out. Here's the first little Wolfie, and it has a heart up here, and I'll show you this side. It has a heart up on top, and then what I was hoping was going to look like a bone. This does not look like a bone. This looks like a wrench, but it's a bone, okay? It's a bone. And then this image here is one of Kiva's markings that she had on her hip. So it's my Kiva sock. I have all of these dog related progress keepers. I have this one that looks a teeny itsy bitsy bit of like Kiva, maybe a little bit if you squint your eyes. A rainbow, because, you know, rainbow bridge. A lot of paw print hearts and bones and stuff like that on there. And then here's the second one. So I'm through the heel, I'm just on the foot now. I did make some adjustments in the chart after I made that first one. So this is the new shape of the bone. It still doesn't look as much like a dog bone as I want it to, but it looks less like a wrench. So we're gonna go with it. And I made some slight adjustments to the shape of the Wolfie. I don't even think you can tell, honestly. Oh yeah, you can, a little bit. No, you can't. You can't tell at all. But yeah, one of the things that I did differently while knitting this second sock is the way that I caught my floats. Over here, I was just catching, you know, wherever I felt like, and just trying to make sure that on like rows that immediately follow each other, I wasn't catching in the same place, so that, you know, to hope that the fiber, like the float, wouldn't show through. But evidently I did not skip enough. So there's areas in here where you can see the floats, you know, like all those dark vertical stripes are the float showing through. So what I did on this one was I sat down and marked on the chart every stitch that I was going to use to catch the float. And I did that like every 5 stitches. Entirely too much. I would not do that again. I think the next time if I do a color work pattern that has a big swatch of just one color like this, I will learn like ladder back, what is it, ladder back jacquard or something. I will learn that, because this ridiculous. But you know, you can't see any of the floats through. So it worked. Would I do it again? No. But yeah. Another thing that I think is interesting when you're looking at these, this color work has been blocked and this has not, and you can see how evenly and smooth the stitches lie after blocking. I've never been one to like block my socks for real, but like looking at all of this texture and stuff in here and then seeing how it just relaxed out after blocking, that's pretty cool. So I just have the foot to finish on here, the foot and the toe, and then my little Wolfie socks will be done. So both of these Kiva projects will most likely be done by the next time we have, by the next podcast episode. So, and this yarn, the brown is Wool Miser, and it was given to me by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. She said the color reminded her so much of Kiva, and it is very much like young Kiva color, which I love. And then the cream color is one that was given to me a long time ago by a podcast viewer. It is the, I think it's Molly Klein Design. No, that's not her. Sweet Tea Yarns? Am I telling lies? Do I have, no, I don't have the, whatchamacallit, but this is the yarn. I think it's Sweet Tea yarn, and the colorway is Eggnog. And I thought this will be perfect for the marking part of the color work, because Kiva's markings were like cream color, but they had little flecks of brown in it, and this yarn does the same thing. So got that. That's all done. Those are all of our finished or works in progress. We will jump down to stash positions and then plant mama life, and then that's it. Plant mama life and whatnot, rather. So stash positions. I was watching the Moonstone Makes podcast with Tommy recently, and she was talking about how she needed to make a hat, and she wishes that she had like a basic hat pattern with measurements for different ages. And I was like, I feel like that's in a book. I feel like I have that book. And so I go looking through all of my fiber book library, and come to find out the book that I was thinking about was this book, the Knitter's Handy Book of Patterns by Ann Budd, and it's basic designs in multiple sizes and gauges. It has, well, as you can see on here, mittens, sweaters, hats, gloves. It also has vests, and I think that's it. Oh, vests and socks. Oh, it has mittens, gloves, hats, tams, scarves, socks, vests, and sweaters, broken down by measurement, gauge, etc. I rented this book borrowed this book from my local library, which is why the book was in my brain. And then when I realized that it was a library book and that I didn't have it in my own collection, I decided to go find it on Amazon. So I found myself a nice little used copy, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection now, because I like having books that show the technique of creating a thing, like to create a vanilla sock, right? Or a vanilla hat. And then you can put your own spin on it. You can put in those different stitch patterns. You can drop in color work designs or whatever you want to do to make that basic item customized to you. So, bought that. Really excited to have this in my library now. Let's see. So I've tried this craft before, and past Kalisha did not enjoy it, but was still like, I feel like I will enjoy this craft. I just have to find the specific way that I'll enjoy it. And this is the craft. Punch needling. And this is one of the Black History Month crafts that they had at Target in their dollar section. I was really impressed because this kit was $3, and it comes with the punch needle, I'll show you. It comes with the punch needle, the thread, the pattern on the fabric and the embroidery hoop for $3. So I was like, okay, we're gonna try this again. Yeah. Wish me luck this time. But yeah, I've tried punch needling in the past. I have a big project that I started in there that I did like this much of and like put it aside. And I don't know, maybe it's one of those things, like the way that I craft or the way that my creative energy flows is that some things, sometimes certain creative things just don't hit, like they don't land right. And then I'll circle back to it in a few years and it'll be like, this is what I want to do with all of my waking hours. So we're going to try this again. But stash position. Then this past weekend, well, not, was it? Yeah, last weekend, Lamar didn't have to work on the Sunday, so we decided to go out to brunch. So we were going to this restaurant in Eatonville called Dajun Eats, and when we got over there, all the roads were blocked off. We're like, what's going on? It was the Zora Neale Hurston Festival. So we decided to go ahead and get tickets to the festival and, you know, walk around, enjoy what was going on, and, you know, spend a little extra time in Eatonville. And I bought some beads from one of the vendors, and I'm really excited about them because they're really pretty. So I got these glass beads. So I have a matte black, and then these that are just all kinds of random colors. And then I got these, which are metal. And Lamar was like, what are you gonna do with those? You're gonna make stitch markers and stuff? Absolutely. But part of me also just wants to keep them on the strand because they look really cool and use them as like decorative objects. But I also want to use them, so we'll see how that goes. But I got these, and Lamar also got a bracelet that has red, black, and green beads in it. So I got those. Excited about that. We had a really good time just hanging out in Eatonville, listening to the music. We had some really good food. Dajun Eats is a vegan Caribbean restaurant, so it's really, really cool, really yummy. And last episode, I meant to show you all my Kwanzaa kit that I got from Chicken Coop Dyeworks. And I totally forgot about it because I got caught up talking about Kiva and my Kiva projects, but I'm not going to forget this time. I ordered the Kwanzaa box from Chicken Coop Dyeworks, and they're basically, you had a full skein of yarn for each day of Kwanzaa, and there was also 2 patterns, one knit and one crochet, and my pattern, my Gemini Reborn Above shawl pattern was the crochet pattern, so that was super exciting for me. And there was also a project bag in there. Oh, I can use that project bag. Look at that. There's a project bag in there, and there was an enamel pin in the kit as well. So here's a picture of the yarn that came in the kit. The first 4 days were actually a fade, and they are all single ply. So I don't have a lot of singles in my collection or in my stash, but now I have an abundance. And if you're ever wondering what you can do with single ply yarn, it is very good for crochet because the direction of the twist is reinforced by the direction of crochet yarn overs. So it works really, really nice with crochet. So I will be crocheting something with those 4 skeins. And then the next 4 skeins were, they're also kind of a fade or like family. but they were all DK weight. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with them, but here they are. Now Kwanzaa is only 7 days, but there was, she added in an 8th skein to this box. So I think kind of what I'm thinking about doing is those DK weight skeins, I wanna make something with them together, but I have to kind of figure out what that thing will be. It'll probably end up being like a pullover or a cardigan or something like that, because those are the things that will fit into my wardrobe pretty well. I'm not sure what I will do with the singles, because they're fingering weight singles, and you know, I just have to think. I have to do some thinking about what to do with those. There is a pattern by Tammy Gore that I bought recently, called, I think it's called Avalon. I think it's called Avalon, but that is made with singles, or it's knit with singles. But I don't know if I would want to have a multicolored Avalon, just because of the way that the sweater is made. It has a lace panel that goes down the side, so I feel like it would really look better in a solid, you know, same yarn. But who knows? But yeah, so I'm excited that I was able to participate in that, and hopefully I can purchase another Kwanzaa box this year. That would be really cool. Let's see. That is everything for Stashquisitions. So plant mama life and whatnot. I don't know if it is because the seasons are turning here in Florida, or it's because I reorganized my plant situation and have put a bunch of plants inside this glass terrarium setup. But 2 of my Hoyas that are my like wish list Hoyas that I was able to get over the last year have finally started growing. And one of them is my Hoya Mathilde. And the first time I saw that Hoya, I was like, oh my gosh, it is so adorable. I just want it. I just want it in my life. And I was looking out for it on Etsy, looking for it in shops, and I couldn't find it in any shops locally. But I was seeing it on Etsy, and they were just stupid expensive. So I was just like, eh. And then I found someone who was selling one, like selling cuttings of hers at my local plant swap that I go to once a month. And that was like, there were like 2 cuttings, and it was $15. And I was like, oh, I can handle that. So I bought them, and then they promptly did nothing. They didn't die, but they also didn't grow. So I was just like, all right. So I put it in, I had it in a little greenhouse, like a tiny greenhouse. So it was living in a high humidity situation. You know, I was watering it, it was getting fertilizer, but homie was just like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna chill. And recently, over the last maybe month or so, it has finally started putting out leaves. And it has the cutest, tiniest little leaves on it right now, and I cannot handle how cute they are. But I'm just really relieved that it's not like quietly dying, you know what I mean? But super excited about that. The other Hoya that is finally started acting right is my Hoya Polyneura, which is like the fishtail Hoya. It's a beautiful plant. I bought one like at some point last year, and it just immediately went downhill, and I just didn't understand what was going on. So then I bought, well, that one, it was going downhill, so I chopped it and put it in some sphagnum moss to root so that I didn't totally lose the plant. And I put it with the Hoya Mathilde in the little tiny greenhouse, and it was just chilling in there, not doing anything. And so because I felt like it was going to, you know, die, I was keeping my eyes out for another one. finally found another person at the swap who was selling a polyneura, and I bought one from her. And so it was just, you know, I had it on my shelf in the same like conditions with the rest of my Hoya, and it was just like, it started declining as well. So I was just like, okay, what's going on? Then at one of the recent swaps, there was someone selling it, like selling another polyneura, and I was like, Kalisha, we're not buying a third one, but we are going to talk to her about what conditions she grows her polyneuras in, so maybe we can figure out what's going on. And the girl was telling me how this particular plant really does like super high humidity. So I thought, okay, I always thought that the humidity in my house, it sits at about 50%. I thought that that was good enough. No, it was not. When I put this Hoya, like the polyneura, in the terrarium with, you know, the Mathilde, well, in the new terrarium setup, I have little rock trays in there with water so that it keeps it pretty, very high humidity. It basically sits at 99% humidity in that box. And I have grow lights that sit right on top of it, so it's getting like really good light, really good humidity. And it's like I put that plant in there and it was like, oh my gosh, finally, woman, you finally got it together. So here's some new leaves. And when I tell you, it is putting out new leaves like it has woken up from its sleeping beauty sleep. So I mean, I want it to live in just the room with me. I don't want it to be enclosed away from, you know, life, but I also want it to be a happy plant. And if this is what I need to do for the plant to be happy, then homie's gonna live in a museum box, and that's all right. So I'll put up a couple pictures if I haven't been doing that while I was talking. Hopefully future Kalisha was putting those up while we were talking, who knows. But that's what's going on in Plant Mama life. I have, like, over here, you can see a little bit of greenery right here. This plant is making a comeback because we had a freeze and I didn't bring these plants in because I was like, y'all live outside anyway, so thug it out. And they did not thug. They did not. They got murked by that cold. Like, they burned up. It looks like, look at this. Cold did that. So don't let your plants thug it out, because they won't. They won't. So yeah. But they're making a slow comeback. I have lots of work that I need to do on these plants out here. Just to make sure that they're, you know, in their best, they're being their best selves. I'm looking at Monster right now, and Monster has one new leaf coming out right now. I did a deep cut of her, and I have some of her cuttings rooting in water, so that I can probably start a new Monster plant. Because there's no more space in that pot for any other stems. But, you know, my plants make me very, very happy. I have, one of my other wish list plants was a Christmas cactus. I have a Thanksgiving cactus which bloomed really, really beautifully this past Thanksgiving. But I wanted a Christmas cactus, and I previously had a Christmas cactus, but managed to kill it somehow. I still don't know what happened to that thing. But I wanted a Christmas cactus again, and everywhere that was selling Christmas holiday cacti, they're technically Thanksgiving cacti. And there's Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter cactus, like in the holiday cactus family. but they are all different plants and they all look different if you know what you're looking for. So I went on the hunt for a Christmas cactus, and I found a lady who was selling cuttings on Facebook Marketplace. So I bought some cuttings from her, and then I had gone to a church member's house for lunch one Sabbath and discovered that she has a giant Christmas cactus on her porch. So I asked her if I could have cuttings of it, and she graciously gave me some cuttings. So I have them rooting together in a pot, and one of the stems has put out a tiny little baby leaf. So that makes me feel very good knowing that, okay, it's doing good, it's rooting as it should be, nobody is rotting, you know, hooray. So I'm really excited that we're going into spring, that the sun is coming in the window where all of my plants are. So they're going to start waking up, putting out more foliage, bringing more greenery into that space. And, you know, I'll be able to sit over there and get sunlight in the afternoon. Like 3 o'clock is roundabout when the light comes directly through that window. And I'm going to be putting my little prisms back on the window, so we'll have rainbow time again. It'll be delightful. So yeah, I do have lots of work to do on my plants though, to get everybody refreshed for this new growing season. But that is everything plant mama wise. Life and whatnot, I am trying to build new habits, and the primary new habit I'm trying to build is walking. That's it. You know, I want to take Tootie on walks. Like, that is our goal. It's a very low goal, but I want to do it. And I have walked this particular path around my neighborhood that is about like a little bit over a mile, and I have found that the walking pace, or I was looking up music and beats per minute and blah blah blah, but I think between 160 and 180 beats per minute is a really good walking pace for me, where I'm able to, you know, like work up a sweat. You know, it's a good exercise pace, get my heart rate up. Tootie is like, you know, so if we both walk that pace for the mile and change of this particular circuit, it's a really good walk. It's not too much, it's not a little bit, it's just right there. And I think that I'll be able to really build that particular habit. And my goal is to take Tootie on at least 3 walks a week. You know, we're not going to say every day because, you know, start small. One thing about me is I need to start small. So we're aiming at 3 walks a week, and just wish me luck with that, because I want to, you know, do more healthy things for myself. Working in the office, I have gone from a pretty high high energy job, like working in the portrait studio. You know, you're up and down, standing, crouching, kneeling, crawling, climbing ladders, you know, energy, you know, a lot of that, just go all day, to an office job where I sit at a computer. The end. You know, so going from that relatively high energy, high movement job to a sedentary job has had some effects on your girl's body. And in the past, I've talked about my my experience with weight, and being a small person, her skinny person. You know, people look at me and they're like, oh, you're so skinny. But the way that I see my body when it comes to how much it has changed over the last couple years with, you know, the complete change in the way that I'm living. It's a lot, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. So seeing myself in a way that does not make me happy, like I have a hard time with the way that my body currently is. So I want to do things that are healthier. I want to walk more. I want to exercise. I want to find exercises that I enjoy and that I will stick with. Because another thing about me is if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to stick with it. And I'm not going to make myself continue doing it. That's just me. And I know that, you know, people are like, oh, you got to be disciplined. You got to just do it. And while I get that, I don't know how to make Kalisha do stuff when Kalisha don't want to do stuff. And I'm about to be, like, how old am I on my birthday? 37, you know? And I still haven't learned how to make her do things that she don't want to do. And I've been living with me for 37 years. So, trying to find things that I enjoy. And right now, I am enjoying that walking. So that's what we're going to do. So, I have been talking for an hour and a half. Hopefully, I will be able to edit out quite a bit of this. We'll see. And I really don't want to take a month in between episodes again, because that just makes for too much talking. So if y'all are still here after an hour and a half of me just talking about stuff, like, y'all are the MVPs. Thank you for being here for me. But I am going to go ahead and stop now. I will see you all on the internet. Yeah, thank you so much for being a part of my universe, for being here for me, for hanging out with me as we talk about the stuff I'm doing. And leave a comment down below of a bright spot, something good that has happened to you over the last however long. And then also read the comments below of other people's bright spots and celebrate with each other. Like, that's what I want bright spots to be. I always tell you guys, I want the comments of these videos to be a place where you can go and see the good things that are happening around us. So, again, thanks for being a part of my universe. Bye, friends. Hi, friends. We made it to the walk. Lamar said something really impactful, actually. He said, starting late, but starting nonetheless. So, that's your message for today. It doesn't matter when you start. Just start. And keep going.